Welcome to Hard Boiled, the podcast that plunges into the wild world of event planning. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind crafting unforgettable experiences. Hear some fun inside stories as we explore the heart and soul of event planning with luxury planning guru, Louis Avanti. This is gonna be a fun ride.
Hi, Nora.
Hi.
I'm here with Nora Kiley Long, my managing partner at AMG Events Visuals, event planner extraordinaire. I have a nice conversation today about planning in general that I hope some listeners can take away and use some of these great tips that we're going to spew out today.
I can't wait.
Can't wait to spew some shit out there, right?
Yeah.
Why not? So I still don't understand how people invest all this money to plan a wedding, yet they decide that they don't need an event planner.
It's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah, what's up with
People
that?
always ask, right? Why do we need an event planner? Why do we need this wedding planner? We can do it ourselves.
I can do it myself.
I plan things at work. I can easily do this.
Oh yeah, I love the I plan things at work thing. Yeah, that's funny. I do. I plan things at work. I work for a company, and that's what I do there. And I plan things at work. Yeah, that's a good one. Or, they watch a YouTube video, they watch an Instagram video, or they'll, take maybe a class in planning, which I understand can be helpful.
Yeah.
But this is not like building a deck, or it's not like making cookies,
Right.
or, it's following a recipe. It's a lot of money to take a chance without hiring a professional.
I agree. Plus, you're not just hiring us as a professional. I mean, listen, you and I have done this for a number of years. You're also hiring us because of our connections. You do it yourself, you don't have any connections.
Well, that's interesting you say that because connections are everything in this industry. Nora and I just recently put together an entire wedding. I mean, a high-end, not
Super
multi-million
duper
dollar,
wedding.
but super duper wedding, with celebrity, introduction, all that stuff in 5 weeks. And
Yeah.
people said, how are you going to put it together in 5 weeks? It really, concept of completion, no venue, nothing, 5 weeks
We
before
kind
the
of
wedding.
did the whole outline, I would say, in 5 days. We had
5 days, we did the
contracts, we were
entire
ready
line.
to
We
go.
did the entire mood board, met with the client a few times,
Yeah.
did a couple of Zooms, and the wedding turned out absolutely
Have the
perfect
vendors in place.
because we know what we're doing. That's obviously a very key thing, but we have the connections
Yes.
and we have the ability to work with people that are also on top of their game,
Right.
which
And want to
unfortunately,
work with us.
right. Well, are proud to work with us as we are proud
Yeah.
to work with them, right?
Right.
But if you're just a bride just starting out and you're just Googling people or find them on Wedding Wire or The Knot or wherever you source things or Instagram and you just, look for a hashtag that says wedding photographer, it's not always going to give you the best. It's always just going to give you
No.
what's available. Just because someone has a lot of likes or has a lot of followers doesn't mean they're great. It just means they have a lot of likes and a lot of followers. So
Agree.
at the end of the day, you don't have the clout to call them, negotiate
Right.
them, work with them, and have them go out of the way for you like they would go out of the way for
Right.
us.
Right.
I always tell the brides, they go, if you work with our team and work with our vendors, there's an advantage. And they say, what? I said, well, we're multiple weddings a year. You're one wedding.
Yeah.
And they really are going to just bill you and move on.
Yeah.
Now they're really working for you, but they're also working for us. So
Right.
they have 2 clients on that day. And they want to not only impress you, but they want to impress us because we know we
Right.
want to impress you. So
And
it's
we have
just,
more clients for them. So there's
we have
another
more,
incentive for them to really
correct.
go
And
out of
that,
the way for us.
right. And then when we work with them, they not have to do anything. They just have to show up. We're selling them
Yeah.
already. We're already
Yeah.
talking to them. We're already making the connection with them, right?
I mean,
I
the
feel,
fact
I
that
feel,
we can pick up the phone and call any head of any of the top 20 venues in the world and they answer, and these girls go online and fill out a contact page or whatever, and they wait a couple days, maybe they don't get an answer back. Maybe they do, maybe the salesperson calls them back and it's not really the person they need to speak to. It takes longer. I mean, it
yeah,
could
it's
take
kind of
them
funny. I always
6 days to
go,
book something.
I always go to who's running the place.
Yeah, of
If
course.
they put me on to, someone that they want me to work with, that's fine. But I always go to the
Got to
top
start at
and
the top.
I say, this is what I'm doing because we can go to the top. And not, listen, we're
Right.
not trying to flatter ourselves here. This takes a long time and it takes many,
Years,
many years.
many
Right.
years.
of making connections, of dinners, of drinks, of
Yeah.
social gatherings within the industry,
Booking
of
clients
relationships and
there.
conversations, having clients there, having situations that are not always positive that we turn around on both sides,
Yep.
having, debates, having arguments, and then hugging at the end. This
Right.
always is a matter of, it's like one big family in the event world.
Yeah. It's
And
very
um,
small. People don't
it's
realize it. It's a
not
very
that big.
small industry.
And
Very small.
it's also very segmented. There are people that
Yes.
just work with other people that, and we
Yes.
don't know those people.
Right.
We just know
Right.
like our people, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird because they say, who are they? Who are they? There's some people will say, well, I'm working with this band, this photographer, this videographer, and I said, I never heard any of them.
Right.
And
Right.
it's kind of weird because we
Yeah.
should know everybody at this point, but we obviously don't, and they don't know us.
Right.
So it's kind of strange and kind of
I
weird, but
also
kind of
feel
funny.
like in our luxury world,
Right.
that the clients that we cater to is very small, right? Even though there are some other vendors who try to break through and they're trying to get new and they're trying to get noticed, you and I come from the old school world that we've been doing this for so long. A lot of the people are still there. If they're not there, the person that's running it was their assistant and we knew them when they first started.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
It's all connected somehow so that everybody knows everybody. Like
And
for
it's and
example,
it's
you and
and
I
right.
worked together before we even joined forces.
Correct. Correct.
So
Yeah.
everyone knows everyone.
Nora used to work at a company called David Tutera
I
Incorporated,
did
who was a very famous event planner. And Nora did events for me when I hired David
many
um,
years ago, many
many
years
years
ago.
ago. And it's funny because I remember bitching to Nora about having David Tutera, who celebrity event planner at that time, and I'm sure David is still around and does stuff, but I don't know if he's as big as he used to be. I don't think so, actually. Let's just say that, and doing something else maybe. But and I said I really need to speak to him, and Nora was so like protective. And she goes,
Oh
well, he's
yeah,
just not available. I said,
not
well, I need
available.
to fucking speak to him. She goes, unfortunately, he's just not available.
It's just not available.
He's just not available. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what? You know,
It's
I
a
actually
little
met,
bit like, the movie Devil Wears Prada, right? No one gets to him. That was how we were all trained. You
I
got
don't
to
think she,
take care
I
of
don't,
it.
I don't think she protects me like that, honestly, but
Oh,
no,
yes, I do.
no, you don't. But very protective of David Tutera because he had a
Yeah,
TV show. I don't have a TV show yet, but
right.
one
Soon.
day, Nora will
Then,
have her
then
own
we'll
TV
get the
show.
front line.
Nora will have her own TV show.
I mean,
And
that TV show, whew, that was its own box of tricks. Really
it was
was.
its own box of tricks.
Yeah,
I guess anybody's wondering, it was called My Fair Weddings. You can Google it.
yeah.
Concept was
And
great.
we
Rags to
produced it
ri-
out of the
rags,
office.
rags to riches.
Crazy. Yeah, it
Rags
was
to riches
crazy.
situation. Yeah, it was very cool concept. I still think the
Yeah.
concept is cool. You
Yeah,
know,
but look at that. I mean, it connected us, and many years later, I mean,
there
we
we are. We're
circled
still
back.
together.
I know we're
We're
still
still together.
together.
Just together.
Now
Um,
we're on the same side.
right. And it's funny when we talk to vendors, and I do a lot of the scoping out, and in New York City and Miami and wherever we're working. And then, Nora will call in, make the appointment sometimes when I can't do it, or she'll set things up if she can't be there. And then I will say, talk to Nora, and everybody goes, oh, Nora, yes.
Yeah,
Nora.
right.
Even AI has her own like take on Nora.
I know, I love it.
ChatGPT calls you the secret sauce. I don't know what the hell they
I
got
know,
that
I
from,
love
but
that.
you
It's
love the
my
secret
favorite.
sauce is Nora Kiley.
Yeah.
So, we were talking a while ago, you and I, about, you know, weddings are such a stressful, I guess, time in people's lives and scenarios. I mean, I
Yeah.
think social media, I think a lot of shit out there makes them more stressful than they actually are.
I
And when we have
agree.
clients that say, oh, how come I'm not stressed?
Yeah, they
I'm
think
saying,
it's
I
like
don't
so
know.
they
You want
think
to
they're
get stressed? We'll
supposed to
stress you.
be.
Right. They're supposed to be stressed,
Yeah.
right?
It's like the
Um,
default.
and listen, there are emotional situations when it comes to families. Not every
Oh, for
bride,
sure. For
not
sure.
every family gets along with the other family.
Yeah.
So Nora and I have become non-licensed psychotherapists
It's correct.
in the family, and because they'll come
26,
to
we're going to
us,
start adding that to our contract as services
right?
that we provide.
It's an extra $5,000 for psychotherapy
Correct.
services, if so needed, right?
Yes.
And when they start bitching, we'll say, you're entering the realm of psychotherapy services,
Yes.
which we have to add to your contract. But, we're
Yes.
happy to talk to people, but endless hours sometimes, talking a bride off, off a
Yeah.
cliff. of saying, I don't get along with my mother-in-law, my father-in-law,
Yeah.
or this or that,
My stepmother,
and
whoever it
or
is.
stepmother, right?
Yeah.
And look, these are just the commonalities of life. A lot
Of
of times
course.
I feel that, as a father of grooms,
Mhm.
and I have a different situation because I actually planned my kids' weddings. But I understand that a lot of times the groom's family feels that they're not involved
Yeah,
with
they
the
feel a little
planning process,
disconnected.
and they feel disconnected. And if they're contributing money, they feel like, well, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, especially the
Right.
moms, right? And
Yeah.
I love when everybody's together, and we have many situations like that where we have like mothers that are involved on both sides,
Yeah.
taking care of the needs of the family, the needs of, helping the bride choose a wedding dress, or coming to a floral demo. I think that's
Yeah.
important. That becomes, you know, a united situation. But we also have had the other side that says, no, she's
Yep.
not coming because she's not paying and she's not invited.
Yeah.
You know,
Listen,
kind of,
we have
kind
a
of
client right now who has the moms who the moms are like my favorite
love the moms.
situation.
We love
The
the
moms
moms.
are great, right? I mean, we have a great client who is who's getting married in New York City, big wedding, and the
Right.
both moms are involved and they're called
We
the
love the
moms
moms.
and they're
Love the moms.
amazing.
They're amazing.
We've
They're
also
amazing.
had not so great moms that have been
No, no, we're
involved
not so great
who
moms.
don't
But
get
again,
along.
yeah, moms that don't get along, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of funny, and I've seen that before. Um, You go and meet them, and both moms are dressed to the nines so they can
Yeah, so they can
outdress
outdo
each
each
other.
other, right? Yeah.
It's kind of funny. They
Yep.
instantly come in. They immediately look at the bag and look at the shoes
Yeah, it's a
and see
competition.
what the other one is
Right.
wearing.
Right.
And then
Right.
they can't wait till we get in the car and they give us a call. They give Nora a call mostly
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
try to
yeah. I get
gossip
the
about
calls.
the other mom.
Yeah.
And listen, we try to stay very neutral with this
Yeah.
because we love to keep families together and we love to keep
Right.
everything very happy and joyous. So
Yeah.
we're never going to take, any one side or
And it's
talk
usually
about
just a
it.
kind of
And
bump
we're
in the
always try,
road until we get going and then
right,
everybody's good and they behave. They
right,
each have something they want in the wedding. We make it happen and
right.
the wedding day, everyone is on their best behavior.
Oh, they're all great on the wedding day. Everybody's
We've
very happy on
never
the wedding day.
Everybody always thinks there's going to be an issue. There's never
Never an
been an
issue.
issue.
Never an issue.
No one
Never an
wants to
issue.
make an issue in public.
No, no.
They're all they're all
Everybody's
they
right.
all they all fall in
Agreed.
line. They all
They all
fall in
fall
line.
in line. That's
Yeah.
very funny.
But the
Um,
bride, I mean, it worries the brides to death, which I feel terrible about. But
it does. It does. We always tell them to be calm
it's
about it.
we calm them down. It's stressful for them, but
Look,
I
there are
mean,
I understand the stress that goes along with the wedding, and I understand the stress that goes along with finances sometimes. And I understand the stress that goes along with the tremendous amount of social media
oh
that these
yeah.
girls are hit with.
Oh, they're hit
They
with
can
everywhere.
they can't make a decision
Yeah.
because, as I always tell them, they never stop looking. Right?
Right.
I would do a
Right.
bride that we did a couple of years ago. You know, always worried that she's making the wrong choice
Yeah.
because she looks at
Yeah.
something every week and it looks different and it looks better for her. The grass is always greener.
Yeah.
And I love when they come to us and they say those magic words. Well, what do you think is best?
Right.
Because I'm going to give them
Right.
what I think is best. I try
Right.
to treat every wedding as if it was my daughter's or son's weddings
Yeah.
because I never treat it like it was a client or someone that I don't care about. I'm just getting paid. I really try to keep it as I want it to be as
Yeah.
perfect and as memorable as possible. And in one of my last promos, I talk about that your wedding day is all about you. And
Well,
you really
hopefully you
should
only do it
have,
once.
hopefully you only do it once, but
Yeah.
but I want it to be special. I want it to be memorable. And that's what a planner can offer that you can't do on your own. I mean, how are
Yeah.
you
No.
sitting there? I don't even fathom. I mean, I would really love to, one day just consult for free. If you're getting married,
Right.
just call
Right.
me. I'll help
Right.
you for nothing. I don't care. I just don't want you to fuck this up
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Of course.
there's so many mistakes and so many things that can go wrong at an event
Yes.
because, the caterer just cares about the caterer.
That's right. The
The
band just cares
photographer
about the
cares about the
band.
photographer. The band just cares about the
Yep.
band. Everybody cares about what they're doing and
Yeah.
they're doing it with the least amount of effort possible.
And they don't have anybody there to pull it together.
Well,
So the
that's another
band
thing,
has their
right?
own timeline, the kitchen has their own
Their own
timeline,
timeline. And then they all
nobody's
rely on the
communicating.
my favorite line is when they say the venue has an event planner.
Oh, that's my favorite as
Yeah.
well.
Well, the
Yep.
event planner in your venue is not your event planner. She's the
Nor do they want to
facilitator.
be.
She's a
They don't want to
facilitator.
be.
Right. She's a facilitator for the venue. She's not
Right.
going to help you plan your flowers, never going to help you plan your menu. Well, she
No.
will for to appease the
Yeah.
venue, to work with the
Yeah.
venue. She's going to do everything the venue tells her to do
Right.
to make it work for the venue, but never for you. A
No.
bridal attendant that shows up in the morning and that like says hello to you, that fixes your dress, is never
Yeah.
going to help you choose a makeup artist, never going to help you
No.
choose a photographer, never going to run the gamut of what's important to you in
No.
photography, never going to look at floral. I mean, it's nonsensical. They're not planners. And listen,
No.
I have nothing against them. I love them. I think they're a big help on the wedding day when we
Yes.
have a
Yeah, when we
liaison.
need, yeah, of course, from the
Liaison.
venue. That's very helpful for us.
Right. But I always tell venues and I always tell hotels and Nora and I always say, this is our event. This is
Right.
my timeline. So
Yeah.
whatever you've done in the past, forget
Erase.
it. That's not going to work
We're
here,
not
Daddy.
doing it.
Great. We're not doing it. Right. Because, and I'm gonna just tell you a few things that venues will do that you don't know about till they actually happen.
And then you
Okay.
can't do anything about them.
And then you can't do anything about it. Then listen,
Yep.
and I know that whoever's listening has been to weddings where this has happened.
Of
Number
course.
one, transition from cocktail hour to ballroom. They
Yep.
will slowly make that transition. What does that mean? Well, hypothetically, if you're going to do a grand entrance, let's say it's just the bride and groom, I'll make it uncomplicated here, right? They're going to first slowly close the bars,
Right.
slowly close the food station, and then slowly people will start to realize that there's a transition taking
Right.
place.
Oh, maybe we should
So
go inside.
yes. So hypothetically, if this is supposed to start at 7 o'clock, your wedding reception, which is only 4 hours mostly,
Yeah.
you're not getting most people in the room to 7:20, 7:30.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
a long
half an
time.
hour transition to come in, find your seat, sit down. I'm going to first discuss the problem and I'll tell you how we fix it, right? Um, then by the time they get the bridal party or the bride and groom set up and they tell the band or the MC or the DJ it's time for the grand entrance, this is all
Hmm.
done by one person and a bridal attendant. They're
Yeah.
going to bring you down. Another 10 minutes go by and then you're going to go into the room. So 45 minutes of your reception has
Right.
just been eaten up, which is almost 20%, 23, 24% of your
Yeah.
reception has just been eaten up with nothing. And
Yeah.
guests come into the room, find their seat, and if they're not talking, they sit and they have nothing to do
Right.
but talk to each other, acclimate in the room, look at the
Look,
decor,
right.
and just sit there because nothing is happening. They're not dancing, they're not eating, they are just sitting,
Yep.
right? And that takes the level of the wedding way down, right?
Hmm.
Um, I'll tell you what we do that's a little different, right? And any other planners out there can steal this if you haven't already, right? So we transition everything 5 minutes earlier. So we start transitioning guests immediately 5 minutes before cocktail hour is over. Our team goes around and say, everyone, please join us in the ballroom.
Hmm.
Please join us in the ballroom repeatedly so that guests move a lot quicker. And sometimes we encourage the wait staff to help us do that. As
Right.
they go into the ballroom, we don't play like loud music. So people are sort of like shocked. We play sort of ethereal kind of music and keep the lighting beautiful so people can enjoy the decor that the bride and groom have painstakingly, chosen, paid for, and really want to showcase.
Yeah.
And then when this is going on, we already have the bridal party slash bride and groom all ready to go in, already lined up.
Hmm.
And while people are still mingling in the room, we tell that MC, start the party. And he says,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, and everybody scurries to their tables right
Right.
away because they're not used to this. And we
Right.
started, and we do this all in probably 15 minutes,
Yeah.
right? With a full transition. And now the
Yeah.
party begins. And when caterers look at our timeline, say, and I go, look, 7:30, we're done with this and this. We're going
Yeah.
to this section. And they go, wow, I never did that before. I said, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Another thing they do, they insist on serving dessert slash cake, if that's your beginning of your dessert, 90 minutes before the party's over. So what this
This is
does,
your favorite.
this is my favorite, 90 minutes before the party's over. They'll serve main course and literally right after main course, they serve the cake. They start cutting the cake and then they'll serve it. And that to me is a bell that says, ding, 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 wedding's
Time to go.
over. Ding,
Hmm.
ding, ding. And now we're going to serve coffee, another pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
I hate coffee
Yep.
at weddings. Okay.
Coffee.
It's grandma's house, coffee and cake,
Yeah.
right? So I rather just, keep everybody dancing, keep everybody partying, and serve that cake if you're going to cut it to the last possible minute, probably 45 minutes before the wedding is over,
Mhm.
and have that day in between, serve that cake, and just boom, go on with the party and end on a super high note. The
Yep.
energy just goes down. Why do they do that? I'll tell you why. Because they want you to leave,
Yeah.
especially if
They're
it's a
done.
Sunday night. They want people to transition out. They want to
Mhm.
be able to clean quicker. That kitchen wants a bit cleaned up quicker. They want to transition to get you out. There's no advantage of them keeping you there to the last minute or to the
Right.
one more song, extended time, because they just want to move everything along, right?
Right.
No reason to serve anything that early, but just the way they're doing it for years. That is what's worked for them, and it is no disrespect to them, but in 2025, 2026, 2027, that's not the way it should be done.
No.
Because no one is sitting there saying, "Oh my God, I just can't wait for the wedding cake. Oh my God, I can't wait for the wedding
Yeah.
cake." No one is.
But
Everybody
listen,
just wants to party and dance.
we've had guests at the wedding that have come up to us afterwards and said, I can't believe this wedding, how it flowed. It was so amazing.
Oh, it happens all the
We
time.
were wondering what was happening next. It was so
Yeah, you
different
never
and
know
so
what's
much
happening.
better.
Everything is done differently, right? And we're not going to get into all the timeline of the wedding. Maybe that's another podcast, but
Yeah.
we do it differently for a reason, because it keeps people engaged. And
Yes.
when you keep people engaged, they're not on their phones.
Right.
They're not hanging out by the bar. They are
Right.
actually enjoying what is going on at the wedding. And listen,
Yeah.
not everybody has to dance to enjoy the wedding. You could just
No.
listen to music.
Yeah.
You
Hang
have to
out.
enjoy the food. You have to, but you can't be doing nothing,
No, and
right?
listen, the guests at these weddings are going to weddings, right? They are going to multiple weddings, especially the bride and groom ages. It is the time of them to go to weddings, to see what's happening. They have a wedding every weekend. They're like, "Oh my gosh, we got another wedding."
All
And they
their friends are
always
getting
say to
married,
us,
yeah.
"This was the best wedding we've been to. We've been to 10 weddings this fall. This was the best one."
And I always say it's not about what we do, it's just about how we time it.
Yeah,
Timing is absolutely everything at the wedding. You
everything.
only have 4 hours in that room. You have to
Yeah.
be able to use them in the most effective way possible,
And you have a lot to
because you're
get
not
done.
getting it back.
Yeah.
Another peeve of mine here, another one for my lovely catering teams out there. And of course, everyone will deny this, but they will stop they will stop music 20, not 20, maybe 15, 10 to 15 minutes before they're going to serve main course.
Yeah.
Because in the old school world, they want everybody seated when the
Yeah.
main course comes out, because they don't
Right.
want the waiters having to walk into people or walk across the dance floor.
Right. And they want the
And
people to eat.
right, and we don't do that. I
No.
stop the music when the first 3 tables have been served.
Yeah.
Understand that they have been served already. So when those 3 tables sit, food is there already, and other is coming out. This
Yeah.
shortens that main course time, and it gives more dance time. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to sit there and do nothing. Listen, we do offer some time to converse. We do have that time
Yeah.
where they can hang out. But again, don't extend
It's
it,
a
because
party.
that steals another 40 minutes from your 4 hour
Yeah.
reception, right? So we don't want to give you 90 minutes of dance time. We want to give you
Right.
ebbs and flows to make your wedding, special, personalized, and more importantly, suck out every last minute of
Yeah.
enjoyable time rather than
Yeah.
sit around time,
Yeah.
you know?
I think it's important too. We always have some sort of surprise element in our weddings, right?
We
We
do.
always have something that ties it back to the bride and the groom, whether it's a great person who sings during dinner, or maybe it's a certain genre that they like and it's more of a performance. Maybe it's somebody else that we bring in to do a little bit of a show that ties back to their heritage or something like that. We always try to make it as personable as possible, which I think is a different experience that the guests then are having based on the other kind of quote unquote cookie cutter weddings that they're going to.
Correct. So the problem is that it's a good point that you bring up. It's never what they experienced, it's what they could have experienced.
Right.
Right. So they'll never know, because they never, went with, I'm not talking about us in general. There's a lot of great planners out there, but bringing an element in, and we've done that many times. I want to say
Yeah.
at every wedding, right?
Yeah.
We're bringing an element that we don't talk about and never
Right.
announce, and sometimes don't even put on the timeline, right?
Right.
Is amazing, because people are unexpected by it. You see the
Yeah.
smiles on their faces. You see their
Right.
the participation that comes into it.
Yeah, and they really enjoy
And
it.
right, they really enjoy it. And at the end of the night, the families always come up and say, "Oh my God, that was amazing." And
Right.
we're not talking about expensive. This really no money to do what I'm
No,
talking about. It's
no.
just a matter of concept.
Yeah,
A good planner should not just book vendors and make a timeline. A good
yeah,
vendor has to create a vision with the client and with the families to say, what's your expectation? What are you thinking? How about
yeah.
this idea? How about this
Right,
idea? How about that idea? How about
right.
this other idea? How about this idea? And constantly bring new things to the table because that's part of our job.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we had a repeat client. We did both of their daughters' weddings. They're one of our favorite people, and they always wanted to do something that would surprise their girls at their wedding.
Right.
Always. We always knew it was coming. They always wanted us to find something out of the box, and it was so wildly successful at both of the weddings
Right.
that we booked future jobs from that.
Yeah, we did. And you know what? Giving people the experience that they can't get on their own is what we do.
Yeah.
Right. You can't, it's just,
You're not
I
going to
just
plan
find
that
it,
yourself.
you can't plan it yourself. You don't know
No,
enough.
you don't know.
You can't go to Instagram or Grok or Chat GPT and
Yeah.
say, what's really a special performance at the wedding? What can I
Yeah.
do? What can I do? You'll
Yeah.
drive yourself insane. I mean, it may come up with something interesting. Who knows? But it can't come up
Maybe.
with the person, with the act.
No,
It can't come up with the person. It doesn't have any video to show you. I mean,
no, of course not.
this
And
is
we
where it's a
always know
personalized
what's new and
experience.
hot. We
Right.
always know what's new and hot that's
Right. You
coming
have to keep
because the
on.
vendors are sending it to us.
Right. You have to keep up on trends. Right.
Yeah, I mean, how about
Um,
that cool guy that we met the other day that has a really cool way of going back and looking at your wedding after it's over? I mean, you're not going to get that from Instagram. You're not going to be able to figure it out,
Right, right,
you
right, right. We'll
know?
talk about that in another podcast. I'm going to actually have him on a podcast
Oh, that'd be cool.
to
He's a
discuss
great concept.
his product. It's amazing. What he
Yeah.
has is amazing. It's going to really change the way we look at
Yeah, it
weddings
is. Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
forever. The and planners don't just take care of the wedding. We take care of
Oh, there's
the
so much
rehearsal
more.
dinner. We take care of the brunch. We take care of hotel blocks. We take
The
care
bridal
of bags,
shower,
the bridal shower. There's so many elements that we try to coordinate to help
the
them out.
fashion. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
fashion
mean,
on both sides, the bridal fashion, the rehearsal dinner dress, the second dress, the custom tux for the groom, for the father, for the best man. I mean, it's really a whole orchestrated thing, even down to the day of where we have, the dress lady come who takes care of the dress for the girls. It's really, there's a lot of details that
yeah, the
people don't
dress lady is
realize
the
go into it.
best thing you can. Every time we push the dress lady on a client,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
dress is not cheap, by the way, but
No,
time,
worth every
every
dollar.
time, every dollar, every time after the wedding, the mother or the bride or the
Yep.
bridesmaids will say, "Oh my God, she was
Yeah.
amazing. We couldn't
Yeah.
have done without her." You probably
Yeah.
could have, but it wouldn't have been the same,
Right.
right?
Right.
Everything's not what
Right.
you got; it's what you could have had. It's
And we always
such a
have a
strange.
girl, one of our girls with the bride to help her out on the day
Yeah, we
of.
always
They
have it.
always
Yeah,
think they always think they can do it themselves, or their sister
right.
is there, or their best friend is there, and they just got married, so they understand it. And that goes out the window because that poor girl who's ever in the wedding party wants to relax,
Well,
right?
look, what would he always say? I say at least on the wedding day, all the girls are getting married.
Yeah, of course. It's everybody's wedding day, right?
Everybody's
Everybody's
getting
getting their
married.
hair and makeup done. Everybody's the
Everyone's
center
looking
of
in
the
the mirror.
show.
Everybody's fixing their dress. Everybody's making sure
Yep.
they look great.
Oh,
Not that they
yeah.
don't care about the bride, but girls are more like, you know,
Yeah.
concerned about their look as well and
Yeah,
how
of
they look and how
course.
they fit and how when their hair, their makeup, etc.
Yeah.
So we always have. And what do you call the girl that works with the bride, Nora?
The queen of hospitality.
No, no, you call her the lady in waiting.
I do call her the lady in waiting because that is such like I feel like an old school term from like when we were first kind of doing this whole planning thing many, many years ago.
Right.
I think feel like that girl has elevated now.
So what is she? What did we call her now? She's the
I think she should be the head of hospitality.
head of hospitality, the bridal hospitality expert.
Bridal hospitality, because that's what
Right.
really she's doing, right? She's putting the girl's shoes on. She's making sure she has her special handkerchief that was her grandmother's wrapped around her bouquet.
Correct.
She's fluffing her dress out. She's making sure her second dress is steamed and ready to go. that girl, that hospitality girl comes with like an army of supplies.
And how about even having yoga classes in the morning for the girls?
That was
Uh,
great. The
a
yoga classes in the
meditation
morning,
yoga class.
meditation,
You know,
anything like that. There's so many personal spins that you can put on it now. Even down to, listen, everybody does the matching pajamas and all of that now, but these girls are, taking it a little bit further, right? They're offering a wellness in the morning, or they're offering, we did that one where like mini facials beforehand,
right?
right? Just a little exfoliating before they get the makeup on. It's all about the
Right,
experience
creating an experience, right?
from the time that they, wake up really until they go to sleep.
And creating a personalized experience. I know this is a interesting podcast because we're really talking about what we do, but we're all talking about what most planners do and should do.
Yeah.
One of the things that always confuses clients in the initial stages of planning is that they want to start doing things, next.
Oh yeah.
We have
They
we
want to
have a
start doing
client that
things
we're
on their
working
own.
with
They don't
now.
want to wait.
We're working with the client that doesn't even have a venue yet. We're still venue shopping, and she's already thinking about, oh my God, I need a photographer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need the makeup artist. And I'm saying, well, let's get a
Yeah.
venue first and maybe get a wedding date and maybe we can work on that. But,
Right.
we put together what we call, and I don't think it's unique to us, but we put together what we call a wedding planning calendar where you'll
Right.
know what you should be doing every single month leading all the way up to the day of the wedding. So
Right.
there's
In a
nothing is really
specific
left to
order
chance.
too.
It's in order. It's total order
Right.
where things build on other things. So I think that's super important. And we schedule meetings every single week till
Right.
we have most of our services booked. And then we go, twice a month up to the wedding day. So they're never left hanging or never, we answer text messages, we answer emails, of course, but no one's ever left hanging,
Right.
and I think that's that feeling of calm and that feeling
Right.
of support is so important for anybody getting married, especially the bride, sometimes the groom. It's really someone to call and someone to lean on. And they can lean on me, they can lean on Nora, they can lean on
Yeah.
any other girls in our team as well. We have quite a few people that the bride can become friends with, and have someone to call and talk to, and sort of have just an expert in their court,
Yeah.
right?
Run ideas by, right? Like
Run ideas by.
they
What do you
always
think?
text
Right.
us, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Hey, I'm having a problem with this person, or, hey, I really love this shoe, but I can't find it in my size. It's not in the store. I
Right.
love this dress. Gosh, we had set that girl, our bride who lived in Europe, who got married here in the
Yeah, it's a good
States.
story. Yeah, gosh, she lived in
And
Capri. She lived in Capri, by the way.
that's right, that's
Who the hell
right. But
lives
got
in
married in
Capri? Who lives
upstate New
in Capri?
York.
Right. Well, no, she lived in Westchester. She got married in.
Right, right. But her mom was from Jersey. She wanted to do it over here. The groom was also European as well, and she fell
Loved
in
it.
love with this dress that was very hard to find. She actually took a boat in Italy to go to Venice to find this dress and found it. And, I mean, the story spirals from there. The dress was a little bit of a disaster. We had to bring some seamstresses in and fix it and make it the way that she wanted to do it because we had a very short amount of time. But we made it happen and she was very happy and the dress was gorgeous. But there's always something that
Always.
we have to finagle, and we always do, right? But everybody
Finagle
comes with
fix,
their own thing.
yeah, they do. Everybody has their own situation going on, but it's always nice to lean on someone. I don't
Yeah.
understand, you know, and then
You're not in it by yourself.
right, going to tastings, going to food, making food
Yeah.
choices. We know what works and we know what people, guests especially will sort of appreciate at a wedding.
Right.
And
Right.
I've had this conversation on another podcast with the caterer that I always feel that a wedding is not a gourmet experience, but a
Yeah.
wedding should be the best it could be for what it is. We're not there trying out something new. This is
No.
not the place to try beef tartare for the first time.
No.
It's not the
No.
place to try,
No.
14 crudos before your main course.
No.
It's not the
No.
place for that. It's the place to have great food, best it could be for what it is. Um, but at the end of the day, getting involved in not only just floral, but wedding dresses and food and beverage and wine pairings, etc., is not in
It's a whole
everybody's court.
experience. Needs to
Yeah,
be a whole experience for the guest.
agreed. It really should be a whole experience for the gift. Do you remember any situation that, you know, really sticks out that we've made a definite change in the wedding plans? I'll think of one that I had a couple of years ago. I was hired by this great family to do a party for them, and they gave me the name of the DJ that I already hired at the time. And I
Hmm.
called him, and he wouldn't call me back. And I didn't know him. I knew of him, but I never met him. And then he finally got on the phone, a little annoyed that, I was a little annoyed. He was a little annoyed that I kept on texting him and calling him. And finally got on the phone. I said, listen, I want to introduce myself, but more importantly, I need to know who is emceeing this party. And I
Hmm.
need to see video of this MC, and I need to see, some video of the DJ. You never shared it with the client. And he was really like annoyed, and he's like, well, the party was in like 3 months, 4 months. And he said, well, honestly, I have like 8 parties that day, and I haven't really chosen the one that's going to be at that party. And I went, what?
Yeah.
And I said, so have you chosen your MC for all the other parties? And he goes, well, yeah, maybe. And, so went back to the client and I said, listen, I know you hired this guy, but I'm not comfortable. And I fired him. I called him
Yeah.
up. I said, you're no longer doing the party. You're going to take that deposit. You're going to give me this and this. You're not going to lose any money. You're going to supply all the other things I need that I know you own. And
Right.
he was really taken back. And I hired another MC. I actually hired Aldo Ryan that I had on my podcast. And I said, Aldo, I'll do this party. And the client absolutely loved him. He goes, the difference is amazing. And it was about personalization. It was about taking care. And the owner of that company that I was talking to actually came to the party to
Oh,
check out who I had hired
nice.
and was like in the background, you know. And when I went up to him at the end of the night, I said, what did you think? And he goes, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. I said, yeah, okay, whatever, go fuck yourself, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because again, he couldn't understand why I would go out of my way for the client to that degree. But the client appreciated it
Yeah.
because I did 3 other parties for the client within the next
Right.
4 years, right? Um,
You know who should have done that was our one of our very, very, very fun clients who got married downtown in New York City and had the wrong band, but they had had that before they came
Yeah,
to us.
that was kind of funny. Yeah, yeah. That was a client that we went for the tasting. They had hired the band
Yep.
prior to hiring us. And we sat at the venue, and very high-end venue in New York, at the tasting. And I looked at him and candidly said, looked at his face, and I said, this is not the right band for your wedding.
That's right.
We
That's
should really
right.
do something else. And he goes, why do you say that? And the venue looked at me and said, well, we recommended them. I said, I know you did. And I know
Yeah.
they fit the genre, 90% of your
Yeah.
clientele, and they're a great band.
Great band.
Just,
Great
I said,
company.
I said, just not for this crowd.
Yeah.
And they looked at me, and the groom said, well, what should I do? And I said, well, listen, I'm going to hire, whether you like it or not, I will pay for them if it doesn't work. I'm going to hire
Yeah.
a couple of singers and a DJ to play, what I think you should be playing at this wedding when the band takes breaks,
Yeah.
right? And he goes, well, if you think so, I said, I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And Nora, you take that story from here without mentioning names.
So that person that we
Nora,
hired,
Nora, Nora actually worked that wedding. Yeah.
yeah, so that person that we hired ended up being so successful for this group of guests and so successful for the bride and groom that we kept him on the rest of the night. And I sadly had to tell the band that we had hired that unfortunately they could go because we weren't going to use them anymore, which presented its
Nora,
own
yeah, Nora, Nora,
situation.
Nora, Nora let them go 90 minutes early while the
Yes,
wedding
which
was
I
still
have
going
to
on.
say, in all of my years, is the only time that I've ever had to do that.
Yeah. But the
That
fact that you
was
were there to
really
do it makes it great
right.
because, again, the band plays
And
for a certain
unfortunately, we're
crowd.
friendly with them.
They
It
are.
wasn't a
No, no.
company that we
It
didn't
wasn't
know. We
it
do
had
business with them.
nothing to do with the band. It had to do with
Nothing to do
understanding your
with them at
client.
all.
Had to
No.
understand your client. And it's funny, that wedding went into like a 90-minute overtime
They wouldn't
because
stop. The
they
guy
wouldn't
was
stop
so great.
because the
The
DJ was
DJ
so
and the
great
singer was
and
so
nobody stopped
great.
dancing. And it was funny when
Now, I think
when
it's
the original band got up, no one danced.
no one
And
danced.
when they took a break and the other guy got up, the whole room was packed. So
And I think it's important to say this was one DJ and one singer who
right, yeah.
rocked like a 250 person wedding
Mhm.
for hours.
Hours, yeah. And the right element of the people you hire and understanding who your client base is can't always be a yes person. You have to
No.
be very, very honest with people and turn around and say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think this is going to work, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I feel
Yeah.
it in my gut, I just feel it in my gut.
Yeah.
And I've had the
They
situation.
were a great client, but they really felt strongly that that band was going to be successful. I'm so happy that we hired the other guy because if we didn't, we could have been in a real bind.
I know. How about that event? We did an event a couple of years ago where we showed the client, you know, 5 venues. 4 of them were magnificent, and there was a 5th one on the list that we just went because we just did. And there was no way in the world that they would have liked that last venue, right? Because first of all, it
Yep.
was not as sophisticated, prominent, as high end as any kind of adjective you want to use compared to the other. Um, and they called up. We said we made a decision and we hired this one. And I said, "Do you really want to go with that one?" And I'm trying to
Yeah.
talk them out of it. And he goes, "Oh no, we really liked it for these reasons." I said, and they insisted on wanting that wedding at that
Yeah.
venue. And I said, "Okay, this is going to be very, very challenging because now we got to
Yeah.
go in and we have to sort of like use our magic to change
Yeah. To
everything."
change everything.
And it was probably one of the worst food tastings
Oh, it's
I had
terrible.
ever been to. It felt like everything was microwaved before it actually came out.
I think it actually
Um,
was possibly the
it
worst
was
tasting
because then
we've
we
ever
found out
done.
that the venue had no kitchen and they were
Yeah.
bringing everything from a commissary in what we call
Yeah.
hot boxes. Basically, everything was
Yeah.
prepared in advance. It's kept
Also, some of the
warm.
stuff was wrong that we didn't choose
We
initially.
didn't choose really weird stuff. It was
We were
kept
like,
like
what
in a
is
box
this?
and brought out. So, we had to fix it, but thank God we were there to fix it. So it's important to have someone on your side. Always
Yeah.
important to have someone on your
Yeah.
side.
That was always, well, I was shocked they booked that one too.
It was like, what? That's the
Yeah.
one you want? No,
Yeah.
don't tell me
Hmm.
that's the one you want. Please don't
Yeah.
book that venue.
No, please. Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And person at the venue at the end, I said, I hope to see you soon. I said, probably not, but it was
But
nice
yeah,
to
it's
work
hope to
together.
see
I
you
don't
as
blame the
well.
venue. I don't blame the venue. It's what they
No,
do.
because
And
that's what they do, right? They don't know.
really,
That's
and
what
they
they
went out of
do.
the way for us and tried to help us
Yeah,
in
of
every way. So
course. We
they were
changed a
lovely.
lot of stuff.
They were lovely. But,
Yeah.
it's just not, what the expectation of the client was unless we
No.
went ahead, and tried to push it, kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's really, really some good stuff out there. Can you think of anything else that comes to mind in your neck of the woods?
I mean, gosh, there's so much, right? I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole for hours. I mean, I deal a lot with when we have our girls with decor and fashion and guiding them and trying to put together their whole look. And listen, that can be challenging in their own way too, right? These girls are on Instagram. They sometimes find pictures and create mood boards of things that they like that they think will work in the venue. It won't work wise, or it won't work for their budget, or it's not enough to go with the opulence of the venue. So it's a lot of steering them. Decor is very subjective. Everybody has an opinion. The mother has an opinion. Sometimes a groom has an opinion. And it's hard to get them to narrow and focus down. I mean, for example, we have a great client that we're working with right now, and she's always on Instagram. So she changes her mind. Sometimes she looks at fashion things and she wants to incorporate that into the floral. And we had to tell her that's great for a magazine shoot, but really not practical for your wedding.
Right, right. And it happens all the
It
time. It happens
happens
all the
all
time.
the time.
But
And
we,
then they
we,
come
we,
around,
they
right? I
come
mean,
around.
she
Yeah.
came around but then she changed her mind again. So the hard part for us is to, once these girls decide on decor, to really get them to understand you can change your mind a little bit, but we can't keep redesigning, every week when you think that there's a new trend in style and you think that it's, somehow going to be great for your wedding. Sometimes, my favorite line is somebody wants something different,
Oh
right?
yeah.
They want
I want
something
it out
different.
of the box.
They want it out of the box. And
And
we
my,
love
and this is a common thing. It happens a lot. And I wonder what
totally.
exactly that means. Do you think
And we
someone's
love
really going
this
to come
woman
into your wedding?
for that.
But you think you're going to walk into a wedding and say,
Right.
"Oh my God, this is amazing. It's so out of the box." I don't think people understand what the guests are
That's a
seeing.
different, it's a different version for everybody, right?
Right, different for
And
everybody. We get that a
this
lot.
woman is amazing and she's got great taste. And she doesn't want her wedding to be a cookie cutter wedding, but that's not
Which is
what we
fine.
do
Nobody really does.
anyway.
Yeah. We would
Right?
never
We
make that happen
always we
anyway.
don't do that.
We just don't do that.
Like
Yeah.
and she has not been to one of our weddings before. She found us online. So she hasn't really experienced an AMG wedding. So
Yeah.
she is using
Oh, she saw
her
pictures. She
other
saw
weddings
pictures.
she's gone to, right? So
She saw pictures.
yeah, so she saw so it's it's always something, right? But the fashion itself, these girls, they do the trunk shows, they do the appointments. And some girls, they find the dress right away. We had another girl who got married in Brooklyn who I think that she went to 25 dress shops.
Oh, my record is 35 dress shops.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how
My
many
record
times
is
you could try dresses on,
35
but
shops. And then the girl didn't really have, she had
it's
she
an
had a
okay
nice
dress.
figure,
Yeah,
beautiful girl,
yeah,
probably everything looked on her. She just could not make a decision.
yeah,
It is so difficult for some people to make a decision. And I think you need something to lean on more than just, a
yeah,
parent or your
yeah.
sister
You need,
or your
yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of these girls, sometimes they come with us and their wedding is in 6 months. Sometimes it's 2 years away. Everybody has a different timeline. I mean, it's
Yeah.
always the first question we ask, do you have your dress? It's a little bit better now after COVID. Everything kind of resumed back to normal or whatever. But,
Right.
you know, some of these girls, listen, they're
The
online all the time.
dress shops also lie to you when they tell you
Oh,
you
yeah.
need to put this like, a year
Yes.
or 14 months in
Yeah.
advance.
And
It's not really true.
then you order it and maybe you're getting married in September and they say, oh, okay, well, you ordered it. So your first fitting's in July. And
I
then
did
they
a
freak out.
right.
And they say,
I did wow, I
how could
wait
that
that long.
happen?
How can I wait that long? Right.
I
It's
can't
so
wait
funny.
that long.
I did a wedding during COVID. Wonderful bride. I should check in on her, see how she's doing. Really nice girl, Julie. And she called me up because I did her friend's wedding, and she goes, "I want you to plan my engagement party." I said, "Okay, that's cool, Julie." And we started planning the engagement party at a nice venue in New Jersey on the water. And then she called me about I think a month before the wedding, and she goes, "Hey, listen, I have a question for you." I said, "What's up?" She goes, "What would it take to make this into a wedding instead of an engagement party? I just want to get
Oh,
married." And I
okay.
said, "Okay." And she goes, "What does it take?" I said, "A wedding dress and a rabbi."
Yeah.
And
And we're done.
I got her a rabbi, and I got her dress in 3 days. She went for the
Wow.
fitting and was ready in 10 days after that. And she goes, "Can I do it?" They're telling me. I said, "Trust me." I called the store up. They did it right away, and got the florist. It became a wedding. She sent out, emails
Yeah.
and whatever to everybody and said it's going to be a wedding now. And we did the whole wedding in
I
few
love
weeks.
that.
But it's fun stuff. But yeah, if there's a will, there's a way on getting a wedding dress. I don't suggest waiting to the last minute, but you don't have to kill
You can
yourself
always find
that far in
something.
advance. And
Yeah.
the wedding dress shops always do that too because
Yeah.
brides go on these crazy diets, lose a lot of weight, they
Oh,
exercise
yeah.
before their wedding,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then the dress doesn't fit anymore and they have to fix it. So I understand where they're coming from. It's also
Yeah.
very another difficult business,
Yeah, of
when it comes
course.
to when it comes to
Yeah.
that service,
Yeah.
etc. So Nori, you have anything to add? I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
So
We don't want to give away all of our secrets.
no, well, we don't give away much secret. We just gave away a little
Yeah.
conversation about some stuff that people do and should do, and I think that we did well today.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I will talk to you soon, probably in about an hour about a client,
Yes.
and then we'll take it from there. Bye,
Sounds
everybody.
good. Bye.